college. You could begin your preparation from this stage onward. What you can do as college students, if you feel that your basics are weak, you could start reading the NCERT 6 to 12 from now onwards. Beyond that, since you're still in college, I would also request all of you to inculcate the habit of newspaper reading. Because as I realized during my year of preparation, is that newspaper reading is a habit that if you don't inculcate it in the very beginning itself, then it becomes very difficult to follow it up when you are taking the year off. So in my time off in the first 6 months, like I mentioned, I focused on completing the syllabus. I used to divide my days into three parts, basically. The first half of the day was reserved for general studies preparation. The evening half was reserved for my optional preparation. And after dinner, I would take that time out to read my newspaper to keep up with the current affairs. Now, as you can see, I had an integrated prep. By an integrated preparation, I mean your mains and prelims preparation goes hand in hand. You don't focus specifically on preparing just for the mains or for the prelims. You look at the overall picture as well as focus on the details of your study. After my preparation, the basic preparation, that is completing the syllabus, was done by the first 6 months, I focused then on revision. Since all of us have a basic human mind and without revising, we are all prone to forgetting things. Therefore, revision is key to clearing this examination, in my opinion. So I kept on revising from then onwards, and at the same time I started doing some degree of answer writing practice at home only for general studies. For my history optional, I started taking test series right after the first 6 months of my preparation were over. A lot of students have this query when to begin their answer writing practice or when to start taking their test series for prelims or for mains. I feel whenever you feel that you are confident and you are comfortable taking the test series, you should take them. Usually it happens that you are done with the syllabus once you start taking your test series. However, if you still feel that you are not sure of yourself, then go for another revision and then start taking the test. Like I mentioned, I had started taking test series for my history optional from then onwards only. I also started taking test series for my essay paper from then itself. I took one test series from then. Beyond that, I think prelims is very important. So I had started taking two test series for the preliminary examination from about November itself. This continued till about February. When there were just about 3 months left for my preliminary examination, I decided to solely focus on prelims and prelims itself. For that, I would suggest what I did and what you can also follow is you go back to the basic sources. By basic sources, I mean you go back to reading the NCERTs, you go back to reading Lakshmikant for polity, you go back to reading Spectrum for modern India, so as to brush up the basic facts that can be asked in the preliminary examination. You also have to start revising your current affairs. Year-end compilations are available in the market from March, were available rather in the market then from March onwards, and that is what I focused on. I kept revising my current affairs as well. What I also did was increase the frequency of my mock tests in the last 3 months. I used to take about 2 to 3 mock tests every week in the last 3 months leading up to my prelims. And at the same time, the point is not just to take the mock test series and be done with it. You have to analyze the mock test series, where you're losing marks and how to improve, your mistakes and your weak areas. So always and always, once you are done with your test and you get the result back, always try to analyze the test series and understand where you've lost marks and how you can improve on your weaker areas. I think that pretty much concludes my prelims preparation. And once I took my prelims examination, I came back, I calculated my scores and everything from the various answer keys that are available. And I felt fairly confident that I would make it through. Even if you feel that you're on the borderline, begin your mains preparation, because you may think that you're on the borderline, but you may just make the cutoff. And if you delay your mains preparation, you will not be able to clear your mains at all. So after taking about a week break, I decided to go for my mains preparation and began taking test series for mains as well. I took two test series for my general studies mains paper. And I also took two test series in addition to the one I already had for the essay. I also added on another test series for my history optional. You might think that I went a little overboard, but since this was my first attempt and I was really scared, so I did not wish to leave any stone unturned and wanted to cover all my bases. Therefore, I went for multiple test series. You can adjust and you can figure out whichever test series you want to take and however many you want to take. I would recommend that you take at least one test series to figure out your level of preparation, and at the same time you have to understand how to write an answer in a time bound manner, and also understand how to deal with a stressful examination situation. Teachers often give you feedbacks on the test that you write, and this feedback can be incorporated while you are eventually attempting the mains paper. I used to take test series, these tests, mock tests rather, every weekend. So either on Saturday or Sunday, I would be taking these test series, and the entire week I would basically be revising the syllabus of these tests. This helped me in dividing the syllabus into smaller parts and ensuring that I revise each and every aspect of the syllabus and there's nothing that is left. After doing that, I think I started taking the full length test and I felt fairly secure with my preparation, and I went ahead and gave my mains. After my mains, I took a longer break. I took about 2 weeks off because I was really tired. And this examination, as we all know, it's a long examination and it can get really arduous and really taxing on your mental health. So I would suggest that whenever you feel the need to take a break, please take a break. And that's what I did. After my mains, I took time off to relax and enjoy. And then again, I started my preparation again for the next year's attempt, because again, you can never be too sure of yourself and you can never expect that you will 100% make it in this exam. Eventually my results came, I think in about January. On January 14th or 15th, my mains results were out, and I made it through, and I started preparing for my interview. Now, as far as interview preparation goes, I think there are three things that you have to focus on. First and foremost, you have to focus on your detailed application form. You have to get it analyzed by the coaching institutes, or you can analyze them by yourself and even ask your parents or your friends for help. They can even tell you which aspect of the syllabus to focus on, and of the DAF, detailed application form to focus on, and you can make your questions accordingly and you can prepare accordingly. So DAF is the first and foremost aspect of your interview preparation. Beyond that, I think you should also be focusing on your optional, especially if that optional has been your graduation subject as well. My graduation and my optional subject was the same, that was history, and therefore I focused on history very well. The third thing I would ask all of you, and what I focused on as well, were the current affairs. Current affairs, again, are really important to each and every stage of the examination, and the interview is no exception. You have to focus on current affairs at this stage as well. My interview, I think for my interview, I took about 6 mocks from different institutes. I would recommend that you stop at 5, because at times you can get varying feedback from the institutes and that can get you really discouraged. After I was done with the mocks and everything, my interview was on 11th of March 2020, and it was in the afternoon session, and the panel was headed by Professor P.K. Joshi. I went for the interview and I think it went fairly well. The board was quite cordial, and they really made me feel comfortable. And the questions that were asked to me were on sort of expected lines itself. By that, I mean that they asked me questions on my optional. Like I said, I had prepared that well enough. They also asked me questions on current affairs. For instance, they asked me about President Donald Trump's visit, which had just concluded in the end of February. And my interview, like I said, was on 11th of March. So that was a very relevant question that was asked to me. And beyond that, they asked me a few situational questions here and there regarding gas leaks in my district and how I would handle them. And overall, I felt really happy with my interview. And as I came out, I was content with my interview. After that, I think it was just an endless wait for the 4 months of the lockdown. But since again, there is nothing that is secure in this examination, you have to continue your preparation, you have to keep up with the current affairs. I kept doing that. And eventually, when the result came out on August 4th, I was successful. And with God's grace, I got such a good rank in my first attempt. So I was really thankful for that. And that basically was my journey about the civil services examination. And I think I would like to conclude on that point. I am open to taking questions now. I think you're muted.
Okay. Sorry. Some of the students have asked their questions in the chat box. So I would like to take some FAQs from them only.
Right. So shall I start begin answering the questions
Ma'am,
that
I
are
will ask. Uh,
okay? All right.
Ma'am, Deepa Rathi has asked that coming from the humanities, did you also go through the 11th and 12th standard NCRT of science?
I did go through the 12th biology NCRT for science, but I did not find it very beneficial. I would recommend that people who are coming from the humanities background, if they have to brush up on their science basics, they go through 6 to 10th NCRTs, and that should be enough. Beyond that, UPSC only asks questions regarding science from current affairs. So focus more on your current affairs in the science section, and especially if you are a humanities student, focus more on current affairs because that is where you will be able to score points.
Okay, ma'am. Next question is, what was your strategy for society section in GS1?
Right. I didn't have a specific strategy for the society section. Whatever the topics were, I used to Google them. And I think there are a few sites that always pop up on top. I used to just write the basic definition of topics such as regionalism, secularism, communalism. And I would write a few pauses and I would write a few ways to resolve such issues, such problems. Beyond that, I think what students can basically do is again read the newspaper every day. The newspaper also covers these topics regularly, and you can also refer to the editorial section of the newspaper, which covers the society section really well. So rather than going for just static readings, I would suggest that you focus again on current affairs in the society section as well. I think the basics can just be basic. That is the static knowledge regarding these topics can be found online on any website that you take. And I think the first few results that pop up will be sufficient. Beyond that, I think focus on your current affairs.
Okay, ma'am. There is one more question from Ayushi Dhankar. From where do you started taking test series with source? The source of taking.
I used to take test series that were online as well as offline. For my GS, that is General Studies, I took test series from Forum IS as well as Vision IS. For my essay, I took test series from Insights IAS, Forum IAS, as well as Vision IAS. For my history paper, that is my optional, I took test series from Self Study History as well as GS Core. And for my prelims, which is again very important, I took test series from Vision IAS as well as Vajiram.
Okay, ma'am. There is one interesting question from Shubham Tyagi. He has said that did being a Staphian help you in this exam, and what should we do extra if we are from a normal college?
Okay, because I was from St. Stephen's College, that helped me out. And what should we do if we're from a normal college? Have I understood it correctly?
Yeah, ma'am.
I think, college, a lot of people think that college matters in the UPSC examination. I agree to a certain extent that college does give you exposure, but at the same time, it won't be held against you it doesn't matter actually which college you're from. If you look at the syllabus of the civil services examination, it's a very democratic examination, and it doesn't matter which background you come from, if you have a humble background or if you're from a really rich background, or your schools have been great or your schools haven't been that great. you just have to figure out what your weaknesses are. If you feel that there are areas that you're weak, you have to begin your preparation in college itself. Like I said, any college for that matter will give you the exposure that is required for clearing the examination. And I think in the civil service examination, college at the end of the day doesn't matter. Focus on your studies rather than focusing on the topics such as, oh, I should have gone to this college or that college.
Ma'am, one question is from Satyam Pandey. He is asking that did you make notes from newspaper daily?
Yes, yes. I made notes from newspapers every day, and you cannot leave even a single day out. A lot of students again have this doubt that if they refer to the monthly current affairs, can they just let go of the newspaper reading? I would suggest no. Each and every source has its own importance in this examination. Newspaper reading is very important, but at the same time, monthly compilations are also important. What I did for my newspaper notes is that I did not make handwritten notes. I made online notes on Evernote, and I would recommend that to the aspirants as well, because first of all, it saves time. When you start making handwritten notes, it can get really tedious, and it'll take you about 3 hours to just finish making your notes, and that kind of time cannot be spent in this examination where you have so many other topics to revise. So make online notes. And secondly, why online notes I would also recommend is that if you're searching for a particular topic, you can just type the keyword in and you'll get all the results from your Evernote notes that you've made. What I also did was I would firstly read the newspaper in its entirety. That would take me about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And then I would go for the daily current affairs compilations that are available on Insight as well as on Vajir. After reading these two sources, you can even limit it to one. I think one will be more than enough, but sometimes what happens is that one website puts out one news or anything. So for being on the safer side, and if you have the time, you can refer to another website, which is what I did. After referring to these three sources, newspaper and two online sources, I used to make my notes on Evernote. Here, I would just copy paste from Insights IS or Vajira, and if I felt that there were certain topics that weren't covered properly in these online sources, then I would type them out from the newspaper itself. In entirety, this would take me about 2 hours, including the reading and note making every day, and that saved a lot of time for me. And I think this uh, is to be done every day. Beyond that, you have to revise as well. So at the end of each and every week on Sundays, I would revise all the current affairs notes from the newspaper that I had made. And then at the month end, I would refer to the monthly compilations and revise from there. Since I was really concerned that I would forget certain things, I started revising after 6 months also, like whatever the current affairs magazines were there 6 months before also, I used to begin revising them after every 6 months of my preparation, as well as at the year end. So you get PT 365 magazines, you get Mains 365 magazines. I also revised from those before my presentation. So that was my current affairs from newspaper strategy.
Um, Ma'am, there is one question. Should we read NCRTs from old or new?
Right. I think that's also a very pertinent question to ask. Let me just tell you what I did, and then you can pick and choose for yourself if this strategy works for you. For instance, if we look at history, the old NCRTs, the 11th and 12th NCRTs are really good, and they will really help you in the course of your preparation. But at the same time, UPSC has started asking questions from the new NCRTs too. So for history, I would recommend that you read both the old and the new NCRTs. On other in other subjects such as quality, I would suggest that if your basics are weak, then you read the 6 to 12 NCRTs in their entirety and then move on to Lakshmikant. Since I felt I was fairly comfortable with the polity section in terms of the NCRTs, I straight away moved to Lakshmikant and didn't have to read the NCRTs at all. But read all the new NCRTs 6 to 12 for polity if you think you're weak in them. Coming to geography, For geography, I think if you're again, if your basics are weak, then read the ninth and 10th NCRTs, the new NCRTs. And if you think your basics are strong, you can straight away move to 11th and 12th new NCRTs. So for geography, refer to the new NCRTs from 9 to 12 according to your strength and your weakness.
Uh,
Beyond that, for science, like I said, I refer to 6 to 10 new NCRTs. For economics, I refer to the class 12 new macroeconomics NCRT that is there, as well as the Sriram IAS economics book. And then coming to environment, for environment, I refer to the Shankar IAS book. There's no need to refer to any NCRT or any other book in terms of your environment preparation. So I think that will help you out.
Ma'am, Mansi Chaudhary has asked a question. She has written that she is from Eco Honors and I am also from Eco Honors, so that's a doubt from my side also. Ma'am, she has written that it is a very heavy course and how should we manage our college studies with UPSC studies? And ma'am, one more personal note. I'm also मैं भी चाहती हूँ इकोनॉमिक्स को ही ऑप्शनल लेना सो मैम इफ यू कैन एलैबोरेट ऑन दिस टॉपिक.
Right. I think if you want to take your optional as your graduation subject, then you have to be really thorough with it. So focus more on your graduation studies as of now, and focus on doing your subject properly if you wish to take it up as your optional. Because first of all, you have to get past your graduation as well and do well here. And secondly, if you are thorough with your economics, then you can really do well in your optional paper. And as you all know, optional consists of 500 marks out of a total of 1750 in your mains written examination. So be thorough with your graduation subject if it is to be your optional. Coming to the second point, if you think that economics is a really heavy course and you're not able to manage your UPSC preparation with your economics graduation studies, what I would suggest is you form a schedule and take it slow. I guess all of you are in your second or third year, so right. So what you can do is you can take even a month or so to finish the readings for history. Don't be in a hurry to finish it as fast as possible. You have time on your hands. And if you're taking a gap year after your graduation, then also you'll have a lot of time on your hands. So firstly, like I said, focus on your graduation subject. And secondly, take your time to read the basic NCRTs. For instance, you can make a timetable. So like you can say that, okay, for this month, I will finish these NCRTs. Then for the next month, I will finish these NCRTs. And you can devote, I'm sure, about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours a day to your UPSC preparation. And I think, that will really help you out if you take just 1 or 2 hours even every day. And you don't have to, stress right now so much about it as well. Don't take too much stress. If you are taking a gap year, you will have enough time on your hands. But again, like I said, if your basics are weak, then start brushing up your NCRT slowly at your speed.
Okay. Ma'am, one question is related to history optional. Abhishek Kishan has asked, is DU history syllabus enough or same as history optional for UPSC? And for which subject of general studies should I make notes in college time regarding to history optional?
Right. So for you asked me that if DU syllabus is the same as your optional syllabus, I think it overlaps mostly. I think there are certain topics from the DU syllabus that are actually not present in the UPSC optional syllabus. So the DU history syllabus overlaps almost completely with your optional syllabus, and you don't need to read for beyond that. You don't have to go for some MA notes or MA history notes or anything. I think if you're doing your bachelor's in history and you're doing it really well, then that will sort you out for your optional studies. As far as GS is concerned, if you wish to start making notes for your GS papers in college itself, then focus on subjects that are static. An example of that could be history, polity, geography, economics. You can start making notes for your prelims section, but in the main section, economics tends to be more current affairs based. So I would suggest that you start making notes for history, geography, and polity. Focus on the static portion. when you're making notes for your GS subjects, do remember that here's like I would like to give you a simple rule that you could follow. If you have to read multiple books to meet your notes, then do make handwritten notes. But if there's just one book that is to be read, then don't make handwritten notes. I'll give you an example. For instance, if you look at polity, you just have to read Lakshmikant and Lakshmikant only. So you don't have to make notes for Lakshmikant. On the other hand, if you look at a subject like geography, you have to read 11th and 12th NCRTs, and sometimes you don't understand the topics completely. There are certain topics that are not available completely, so you have to refer to other books such as GC Leong. You often have to refer to books such as PMFIAS, and you also have to refer to certain websites such as lunar.org. So you can refer. So like I said, like these are multiple sources now. So when you're making notes for geography, do make handwritten notes. I hope that clears out the differentiation where you have to make while you're making notes, and guides you while you're making notes for GS in your college days.
Okay, ma'am. Yuvraj Singh has asked a question. Ma'am, did you categorize your notes for mains and prelims? Did you make separate notes or just one?
No, I did not categorize notes as such. Like I mentioned, I did an integrated preparation, and in that only I used to write down some factoids that could be important from prelims point of view. But mostly it was an integrated preparation.
Ma'am, I had a personal doubt and that doubt of the society on the behalf of मैम हम लोगों ने एक मेंस आंसर राइटिंग स्टार्ट किया था आद्यांत करके सो मैम जैसे आपने अभी बताया कि हमें मेंस राइटिंग शुरू से ही शुरू करना चाहिए मतलब हमें ऐसा नहीं वेट करना चाहिए कि जब हमारी सारी प्रिपरेशन खत्म हो जाए तभी हम मेंस आंसर राइटिंग चालू करें तो मैम अगर हम इस लेवल पे कॉलेज लेवल पे हम लोग क्लासेस वगैरह भी लेते हैं और इस लेवल पे अगर हम चाहें कि हम आंसर राइटिंग चालू करें तो मैम क्या ये बेनिफिशियल होगा हमारे लिए
I would suggest इतनी जल्दी आप आंसर राइटिंग नहीं शुरू करें एक बार you have to whenever you're writing answers so what is more important also along with your study portion is current affairs और current affairs मेन में भी एक साल पहले के पूछे जाते हैं फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर एग्जाम सितंबर में है तो वो एक साल पहले सितंबर से ही आपको मेंस में मोस्टली क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे सो अगर आपको स्टैटिक पोर्शन के लिए आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करना है जैसे ज्योग्राफी के लिए तो ज्योग्राफी के लिए डेफिनेटली आप अपना जैसे आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं एथिक्स के लिए आप आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं लेकिन कुछ जैसे टॉपिक्स होते हैं विच आर मोर करंट अफेयर्स रिलेटेड जैसे इकोनॉमिक्स आजकल बहुत करंट अफेयर्स रिलेटेड हो गया है एंड इवन अगर आप देखें तो पॉलिटी भी आजकल इट हैज बिकम रियली डिपेंडेंट ऑन करंट अफेयर्स So for that, I would suggest कि आप थोड़ा delay कर दें अपना preparation, answer writing का preparation. But for static subjects like history, geography, ethics section, you can start your answer preparation, answer writing preparation as soon as possible.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more question. Is Tamil Nadu NCERT beneficial?
It is beneficial. I think you can read it अगर आपके पास टाइम है because मतलब अगर आप सिर्फ सेकेंड या थर्ड ईयर में हैं तो आप पढ़ सकते हैं तमिलनाडु की एनसीईआरटी अपने बेनिफिट के लिए लेकिन मुझे लाइक खास बेनिफिट लगा नहीं इफ यू आर रीडिंग द एनसीईआरटीज 11th एंड 12th की ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी पढ़ रहे हैं आप और न्यू भी एनसीईआरटी भी साथ साथ में पढ़ रहे हैं तो यू डोंट रियली हैव टू लुक एट द तमिलनाडु एनसीईआरटी बट अगर आपके पास टाइम है तो व्हाई नॉट जस्ट गो थ्रू इट
Okay, ma'am. One question is from Indu Verma. Ma'am, how can a beginner ace the Hindu as we all know that it takes too much time?
That is why I would recommend to all of you कि आप हिंदू या मतलब इंडियन एक्सप्रेस जो भी न्यूज़पेपर आप चूज करें I would recommend the हिंदू आप कॉलेज से ही पढ़ना शुरू कर दें मैंने तो न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना एक्चुअली काफी यंग एज में शुरू कर दिया था एंड कॉलेज में आई शिफ्टेड टू द हिंदू सो आप हिंदू को कॉलेज से ही पढ़ना शुरू कर दें एंड पहले आपको लगेंगे 3 घंटे 4 घंटे कम से कम बट आप देखेंगे कि लाइक 6 महीने में 1 साल में आपका टाइम रिड्यूस हो रहा है एंड इवेंचुअली इट विल बिकम about 1 hour, 1.5 hours at the maximum. तो जब तक आप अपनी एक्चुअल प्रेपरेटरी ईयर लेंगे एक गैप ईयर लेंगे तब तक आपका टाइम कम हो जाएगा एंड सेकेंडली ऑल्सो मैं आपको एक और चीज सजेस्ट करना चाहूंगी कि जब भी आप हिंदू पढ़ रहे हैं तो कीप द सिलेबस इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू बिकॉज आप जब तक सिलेबस नहीं देखेंगे यू विल नॉट नो व्हाट टॉपिक हैज टू बी रेड व्हाट टॉपिक हैज टू बी लेफ्ट आउट राइट तो अगर आप पॉलिटी का सिलेबस देखिए, इकोनॉमिक्स का सिलेबस देखिए, ज्योग्राफी का सिलेबस देखें, एंड इफ यू लुक एट द हिस्ट्री सिलेबस इवन, इन सब पूरा सिलेबस को बेसिकली अपने सामने रखें एंड देन रीड द न्यूज़पेपर अकॉर्डिंगली। इससे आप फिल्टर आउट अच्छे से कर पाएंगे इन्फॉर्मेशन। फॉर इंस्टेंस, यू विल रियलाइज दैट द सोर्स सेक्शन इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट एट ऑल। देन यू विल ऑल्सो रियलाइज दैट कुछ स्टेट्स की पॉलिटिकल न्यूज होती है जिसका कोई रिलेशन नहीं होता है प्रेपरेशन से, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट एट ऑल. But at the same time, if the topic is discussed, if the topic is regarding some interstate dispute, and you will realize that that is a topic that is there in the polity syllabus, then you will automatically realize that you have to read it. So आप syllabus को सामने रखिए and then read the newspaper, उससे भी आपका time बच सकता है.
मैम, आई एम टेकिंग दिस लास्ट क्वेश्चन। बहुत सारे बच्चों को ये डाउट होता है कि उन्हें पहले ग्रेजुएशन के बाद यूपीएससी के लिए ट्राई करना चाहिए या मास्टर्स के लिए जाना चाहिए। बहुत लोग सोचते हैं अगर वो मास्टर्स कर लेंगे तो उनका थोड़ा प्रोबेबिलिटी ज्यादा होगा कोई जॉब वगैरह पाने के लिए, कि अगर यूपीएससी ना हुआ तो मास्टर्स से उनको थोड़ी जॉब का वो सिक्योरिटी होती है। तो मैम इस वाले क्वेश्चन पे आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
राइट, इस पे मैं तो सिर्फ यही कहना चाहूंगी कि इफ योर गोल इज यूपीएससी एंड यू want to clear the civil services examination and pursue a career in the civil services, then I don't think there is any point, I feel, to pursuing a postgraduate degree. So you have to look at your own self. आपके क्या motivations है, आपको क्या लगता है कि आप 100% कर पाएंगे यूपीएससी? Can you devote 2 years of your life to taking this examination? And then take a call by yourself. उसके बाद आप अपना एक बार फाइनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड भी देखिए, आप देखिए कि इज यूपीएससी टू बिग रिस्क। काफी बार ऐसा होता है दैट यूपीएससी क्लियर नहीं होता है एंड देन पीपल डोंट हैव एनी जॉब सिक्योरिटी एज वेल। सो अपना बैकग्राउंड देखिए, उसके हिसाब से आप चूज कीजिए। अगर आपको लगता है दैट योर पेरेंट्स विल बी रेडी टू सपोर्ट यू नो मैटर व्हाट, then definitely there is no reason to pursue a master's. And like I said, आपको जो भी वो questions पूछते हैं यूपीएससी में वो 12th तक होता है और ऑप्शनल में ग्रेजुएशन लेवल तक होता है। So if you're looking at it in terms of studies and academic terms से भी आप देख रहे हैं, so there is again no reason specifically to pursue a postgraduate degree. At the end of the day, it is your choice, and you can pursue a postgraduate degree if you want.
Okay, ma'am. So there are a lot of questions in the chat box, but we can't take all of them. So concluding this,
मुद्रा, अभी अपने पास समय है, चंद्रज्योति के पास भी समय है, तो बाकी बच्चों के सवाल भी पूछ लेने ठीक होंगे। बाद में इनसे समय लेना हम लोगों के लिए मुश्किल होगा जब ये लोग लबासना चले जाएंगे।
ओके सर।
20 मिनट और कुछ और सवाल पूछने दो।
ठीक है सर। सर, मैम कीर्ति प्रजापति का डाउट है, हाउ मेनी रीडिंग्स डिड यू कंप्लीट इन 6 months?
How many readings?
यस मैम।
लाइक जब मैं अपना सिलेबस कर रही थी तब तो मैंने सिर्फ एक ही रीडिंग कंप्लीट कर पाई थी 6 months में, लाइक बिकॉज द एम वाज टू कंप्लीट द सिलेबस एंड नथिंग एल्स। आई डिडंट फोकस ऑन लाइक कि रिवाइज कितनी बार करना है। मैं सिर्फ पहली बार अपने सिलेबस को कंप्लीट करना चाहती थी और उसके ढंग के नोट्स बनाना चाहती थी। उसके बाद मैंने अपना रिविजन स्टार्ट किया। रीडिंग, आई थिंक आई टुक ओनली 1 or 2 readings in the time that I was completing the syllabus and making my notes. उसके बाद रिविजन मैंने अपने नोट्स से काफी बार की एंड आई रिवाइज एटलीस्ट फिल्म से पहले तो 3 बार 4 बार रिविजन हो गया था एंड मेन से पहले भी यू हैव टू अगेन रिवाइज द सिलेबस 2-3 times at least.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one question. People with science courses often find difficult to choose optional because उन्होंने कोई भी सब्जेक्ट नहीं पढ़ा होता है, तो मैम उनके लिए कोई ऑप्शनल जो उनकी हेल्प कर सके जीएस में भी?
तो आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट साइंस स्टूडेंट्स हैव इट डिफिकल्ट, बट अगर आप अपने सब्जेक्ट से फॉलो हैं तो आप उसे ही लीजिए अपने ऑप्शनल में। लेकिन काफी बार पीपल डोंट फील कंफर्टेबल, पीपल फील दैट देयर इज अनदर सब्जेक्ट जो जीएस में भी उनकी हेल्प कर देगा, तो दे वांट टू टेक अ ह्यूमैनिटीज सब्जेक्ट। फॉर दैट आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आप ट्रेंड मत फॉलो कीजिए टॉपर्स का। व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट पीपल टेंड टू टेक सर्टेन ऑप्शनल सच एज सोशियोलॉजी, सच एज पीएसआईआर, because toppers have been taking it and it seems scoring. Lekin remember the fact that what may be scoring for some may not necessarily be scoring for you. So you have to figure out your own interest. अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट हिस्ट्री में है, अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट सोशियोलॉजी में है, तो गो थ्रू द सिलेबस. अब आप जब सिलेबस देख रहे हैं तो इंश्योर दैट ये सिलेबस आपसे कंप्लीट हो सकता है एटलीस्ट लीस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम में, विच इज आई थिंक अबाउट 5 to 6 months. अगर आप 6 महीने में बैठकर इस सिलेबस की रीडिंग करके अपने नोट्स बना सकते हैं तो डेफिनेटली टेक दैट सब्जेक्ट. उस सिलेबस को पढ़ने के बाद आई वुड ऑल्सो रेकमेंड कि एक बार आप बुक लिस्ट, जो बेसिक बुक लिस्ट होती है टॉपर्स की, आप उसके गो थ्रू करें एंड सी दैट इफ दिस इज समथिंग, दीज बुक्स आर समथिंग दैट इंटरेस्ट यू. क्योंकि जो ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट है, जैसा मैंने बताया आपको कि 500 मार्क्स का होता है टोटल, 1750 मार्क्स मेंस में होते हैं, उसमें से 500 मार्क्स तो सिर्फ आपके ऑप्शनल के होते हैं एंड यू हैव टू बी रियली इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट सब्जेक्ट ताकि आप बिना बोर हुए उसे काफी देर तक पढ़ सकें. सो आई वुड रेकमेंड आप इन सब चीजों को दिमाग में रख के कि आपका इंटरेस्ट किस सब्जेक्ट में है, डोंट टेक एन ऑप्शन जस्ट बिकॉज इट हैज बीन स्कोरिंग फॉर सम, और देखिए कि कहाँ किस हद तक ओवरलैप होता है. फॉर इंस्टेंस हिस्ट्री का काफी ओवरलैप होता है GS1 के सिलेबस से, PSIR का भी काफी हद तक ओवरलैप होता है GS2 के सिलेबस से, ज्योग्राफी आल्सो ओवरलैप्स विद GS1 का सिलेबस. सो दीज आर सर्टेन थिंग्स दैट यू कैन कीप इन माइंड व्हाइल चूजिंग योर ऑप्शनल. आई डोंट थिंक आई कैन रेकमेंड वन पर्टिकुलर ऑप्शनल जो आप सबको सूट करेगा. यू हैव टू कीप योर इंटरेस्ट एंड योर नीड्स इन माइंड while choosing an option.
Ma'am, there is one common question: how to prepare for ethics? I would like to rather elaborate कि ethics के लिए अपना mindset कैसे बनाया जाए ethics पढ़ने के लिए. How to prepare for that?
Right. I think ethics काफी interesting paper होता है and it has case studies which are really fun to attempt at times. कभी कभी difficult हो जाती हैं and then it has the first section wherein they ask you questions regarding certain keywords that are given in the syllabus, जैसे transparency, objectivity, neutrality, impartiality. तो जब आप पहला सेक्शन अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं एटलीस्ट, तो जो भी टॉपिक होता है, जो भी सिलेबस है, पहले तो आप उसे देख लीजिए, ठीक है. उसमें जो भी टर्म्स दिए हैं, ट्राई टू डिफाइन देम इन एज सिंपल वर्ड्स एज यू कैन. ज्यादा हाई-फाई लैंग्वेज लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है बिकॉज द एग्जामिनर देन थिंक्स कि आपको समझ नहीं आया, आप सीधा रट्टा मार के लिख रहे हैं एथिक्स के पेपर में. सो आप उसे सिंपल टर्म्स में जो भी है वर्ड, जैसे इंटेग्रिटी है, जैसे ऑनेस्टी है, जैसे प्रोबिटी है, इन सब टर्म्स को सिंपल वर्ड्स में डेफिनेशन लिखिए पहले तो जब आप इनके नोट्स बना रहे हैं. सेकेंडली एग्जाम्पल्स दीजिए अपने आंसर में भी और अपने नोट्स में भी. सो व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग एन एग्जाम्पल, ट्राई टू राइट एन एग्जाम्पल फ्रॉम द लाइफ ऑफ अ फेमस इन्फ्लुएंशियल लीडर. जैसे महात्मा गांधी जी के लाइफ से काफी एग्जाम्पल्स हो सकते हैं, मदर टेरेसा जी की लाइफ से काफी एग्जाम्पल्स हो सकते हैं. ऐसे ही काफी ज्यादा लीडर्स हैं हु हैव इन्फ्लुएंस्ड द वर्ल्ड इन अ पॉजिटिव वे. तो आप उनकी लाइफ से भी अपने एग्जाम्पल्स ले सकते हैं. This is the first set of examples that you should be preparing. And secondly, the second set of examples that you can look at is examples from your personal life. Now, जैसे आपने कभी कुछ काम किया हो which showed that you have an indomitable spirit or which shows that you have a resilient spirit. तो आप इन सब एग्जाम्पल्स को भी डाल सकते हैं. टीम स्पिरिट आप दिखा सकते हैं when you were impartial, when you were neutral, when you were objective, आपने कब इंटेग्रिटी दिखाई even in the toughest of circumstances. So personal examples भी add कीजिए. Beyond that, if you're looking at what to read and what to कहाँ से notes बनाए, तो आप कोई भी book refer कर लीजिए. You can refer to lexicon, you can refer to the notes that are available in the market. But at the end of the day, you will have to use your own mind कि how to simplify a particular definition in your own words. तो वहाँ पे आपको अपना ही mind इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा. And I think what is also important, another source that I could recommend to all of you is the School of Life. ये एक YouTube channel है which I used to watch quite often. सिर्फ 8 to 10 minutes की videos होती है. And for understanding the ideas of moral philosophers, तो ये काफी beneficial होता है. So you can go to the website, this YouTube channel, and that will really help you in understanding the ideas that moral philosophers have given. So I think that is my basic, set of guidelines for the first section of ethics. अगर आप second section देखें ethics का, तो case studies हैं, and the only way to get better at case studies is to practice more and more case studies. जितना ज़्यादा हो सके आप practice कीजिए. आप toppers की case studies देखिए, उन्होंने कैसे answer किए हैं. These topper copies are available on websites such as Vision, GS Score, and Self Study History. काफी websites पे available होते हैं, तो आप वहाँ जाइए. एंड वहां पे जो टॉपर ने कैसे अटेम्प्ट की है केस स्टडीज, बेसिकली आप वहां से देखिए एंड देन स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग केस स्टडीज ऑन योर ओन एट होम. So that's ethical for me.
Ma'am, what kept you motivated to stay consistent in preparation?
I think yeah, that is a very important question क्योंकि इतना लंबा समय होता है preparation का and you don't know like clear होगा कि नहीं होगा and there's so much fear of failure and कभी कभी तो मन ही नहीं करता है पढ़ने का which is also what happened to me at times. So you have to understand कि आपने start क्यों किया ये preparation? Why did you wish to take this examination? For me there were two motivations because मैंने अपने मेरे दोनों parents आर्मी में थे और मैंने देखा है कि उन्होंने कितने dedication से nation को serve किया है. So I wanted to follow in their footsteps and serve the nation in a way that I saw fit, in a way that I was good at. So for me, civil services was a natural career choice in that sense. तो मैं हर बार जब भी मुझे demotivated feel होता था, so I used to remind myself that okay, these are the changes I could make to society if I clear this examination. So I think that is a great motivator. Secondly, if you look at a very personal level, तो मुझे I always wanted to make my parents feel proud of me. And I think civil services clear करने से any parent would feel proud. So, at a very baser level, मैं यही सोच रही थी that, I want to make my parents happy and I want them to feel proud of me.
Okay. Ma'am, there is an interesting question. Abhishek Kishan, he is the vice president of the society. He has asked, ma'am, that can we enjoy our life while in college by taking part in extracurricular activities, or should we completely devote our time for CSE?
I think that's a very interesting question. And if you ask me, I enjoyed my college life to the utmost because, बंदा इतनी दिनों तक नहीं पढ़ सकता है. पहले आप 3 साल graduation में you slog for your civil services and then you take a year off, then you slog for civil services and then the year that you take the examination in. तो 5 साल तक, no one can sustain that momentum and no one should sustain that momentum because ये आपकी, physical और mental health के लिए अच्छा नहीं रहेगा. So I'll just talk about myself and my example. मैं quiz club में बहुत participate करती थी. I was also in other societies such as Gender Studies Cell. I was also the associate editor of the yearbook as well. So I used to keep myself busy in all the different societies और मुझे बहुत मजा भी आता था. And college में बहुत सारे fest भी होते हैं. And अगर आप बाहर से आए हैं दिल्ली, मतलब you're not a Delhiite, so you want to explore the city as well. So I used to enjoy, taking part in fests and all. Stephens में भी जितने होते थे, जितने North Campus में होते थे, South Campus में, like you have to limit yourself at the end of the day कि हाँ, like इतना कर लिया, बहुत मजे हो गए, अब मैं थोड़ा पढ़ लेती हूँ. And I think that's all you have to do. आपको अपने ऊपर ही check रखना है, कोई और आपको नहीं बता सकता है कि okay, this is it. You cannot go to this fest. You can go to this fest, or you can take part in these extracurricular activities, or you can't take part in these extracurricular activities. आप अपने आप को देखें, आप enjoy कर सके अपना college experience, that is what is important. And please realize that your college years aren't going to come back at all. So बाद में regret ना हो, so enjoy your college years, but साथ साथ में थोड़ा बहुत focus पढ़ाई पे भी करते रहिए.
Ma'am, I had a question. मैम लाइक जैसे बहुत लोगों ने एनएसएस ज्वाइन कर रखा है या अदर सोसाइटीज ज्वाइन कर रखी है, मैम डू दैट अफेक्ट ऑन द इंटरव्यूअर, लाइक they have joined such things like they have joined an NGO or they have joined NSS and have done welfare for the society and thought about that, so do that affect on the interview?
The thing is, the interview panel doesn't matter अगर आपने काफी सारी societies में part लिया है या काफी सारी societies में नहीं part लिया है, right? उनका काफी ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस होता है and they know कहाँ पे आप they will see if you are a candidate that is fit for civil services or not. So it doesn't really matter अगर आपने काफी सारी societies में part लिया है या फिर कोई भी society में part नहीं लिया है. Be honest in your detailed application form. ज्यादा गप्पे मारने की जरूरत नहीं है that I was taking part in this society, that society. That will only give the interviewer an opportunity to ask you more and more questions. वो आपसे पूछेगा okay, so what did you do here, what did you do there. तो मतलब जब आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं अगर आप अपने डैफ में डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म में या आपने मतलब कुछ काम नहीं भी किया है लेकिन लिख दिया है एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, तो द इंटरव्यू विल कैच यू. सो डू नॉट लाई इन योर डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म. जो सच है वो लिख दो. अगर आपने सोसाइटीज में काम किया है वेल एंड गुड, अगर नहीं काम किया है इट वोंट बी हेल्ड अगेंस्ट यू. अगर आपने सोशल सर्विस की है या नहीं की है, इट डजंट मैटर. लाइक दे विल सी थ्रू यू. they know कि this person will be able to work for the country or not. They have so many years of experience, like 30 years, I think, nearly each one has, and 5 panelists होते हैं. So they will be able to see to you and just write honestly whatever you have done in college years.
Ma'am, there is a particular question regarding this pandemic. Some people, you have said that online resources will be useful, but many people have the problem they are not able to study online. Many have issues, many don't have Wi-Fi facilities at home. So how can they cope up with their preparation?
Right. I think agar you face problems in internet connectivity, you don't like studying online, then you can always go back to the original books. NCRTs are available everywhere. आप order भी कर सकते हैं online. थोड़ा अगर आप कहीं से आपको internet मिल पाता है, किसी cyber cafe में जा पाते हैं, तो आप order कर लीजिए NCRTs and all of that. तो वो आपके घर पे deliver हो जाएंगी and you can read from there itself. As far as online classes is concerned, like I said, अगर आप खुद पढ़ सकते हैं, so that is the best option for you. Read the books yourself. I don't think coaching, as far as I would say, it's not really that important. What is more important after that is taking the test series, or test series maybe आप online कर सकते हैं, in the sense just go to a cyber cafe again. अगर आपके घर के आसपास है कोई, डाउनलोड कर लीजिए वहां से जो भी आपका टेस्ट सीरीज है, प्रिंट आउट लेके घर जाके आराम से लिखिए, and then again you can go back to the cyber cafe, use the internet access to upload these. So I think this will not take up too much of your time, and this is something you can do. बाकी तो you have to refer to the books at the end of the day. Online sources जितना मर्जी आप helpful हो, they cannot substitute. And अगर आपको current affairs के भी notes, for instance, like I recommended Evernote, अगर आपको नहीं बनाने online, you can definitely make them offline. There is no necessity that you have to make them online. आपको जो comfortable लगे वो कीजिए.
Ma'am, I
Namrata,
have a question.
Please write in the chat box.
Ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, there is another question. Do being like we all belong to Delhi University, many of us. So, do it give an extra exposure for the civil services or an extra benefit for us?
I think exposure तो मिलता ही है. If you come to a city like Delhi and you are studying at Delhi University, which is one of the premier institutions in the country, but at the same time, again, like I said, like जैसे जब आपने मुझसे पूछा कि सेंट स्टीफेंस में पढ़ने से कुछ आपको ज्यादा फायदा हुआ, तो हाँ, वो लिमिटेड फायदा तो जरूर होता है डीयू में आके, एक्सपोजर मिलता है, लेकिन बियॉन्ड दैट ये एग्जामिनेशन ऐसा है कि आप अगर सिलेबस के हिसाब से नहीं पढ़ेंगे, अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी स्ट्रीमलाइन नहीं करेंगे, तो नो अमाउंट ऑफ योर एजुकेशन बैकग्राउंड कैन हेल्प यू. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आपको खुद ही पढ़ाई करनी है, खुद ही किताबें पढ़नी है. सो आई थिंक थोड़ा बहुत फायदा, लाइक आई सेड, होता है, लेकिन एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इट्स योर ओन एफर्ट दैट विल हेल्प यू क्लियर दिस एग्जाम.
Ma'am, how much hour should a college student devote towards UPSC in his or her college life?
Okay. People again will find it very hard to believe, लेकिन मैंने कोई टाइम नहीं डिवोट किया था अपनी यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन को during my college years. Yes, I used to read the newspaper regularly each and every day, but beyond that, and I was studying my graduation subject properly, but beyond that, I did not devote any such time to UPSC preparation जब तक मैंने अपना year off नहीं किया. लेकिन अगर आपको लगता है कि आपको बेसिक बुक से शुरू करना है, अगर आपने एनसीईआरटी से शुरू करना है, then I think you should start devoting 1 to 2 hours at least from your second year. तब से पढ़ना शुरू कर दीजिए. नहीं तो अगर आपको लगता है आप थॉरो हैं अपनी एनसीईआरटी से, then so you can start even in your third year or even after that.
Okay, ma'am. Sir, should we take some more questions?
चंद्रज्योति के पास कितना देर और है, कितना समय है आपके पास?
I think I can take 2-3 more questions.
Okay.
मुद्रा, एक सवाल पूछ लेना. बहुत सारे बच्चों ने मैसेज किया है कि मीडियम का कितना फर्क पड़ेगा, भाषा का.
Right. So, like Sir said, like medium का कितना फर्क पड़ता है? I think medium का जब आप इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं, जब आप अपना मेंस एग्जामिनेशन में आंसर लिख रहे हैं, तो अगर आपने खुद को एक्सप्रेस ढंग से किया है, तो एज सच कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. लेकिन what I feel, in my opinion, why people in who are writing in the English medium are able to do better is because of the resources that are available. क्योंकि आपको सारे रिसोर्सेज इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाते हैं इंग्लिश में, एंड फॉर हिंदी रिसोर्सेज और फॉर एनी अदर लैंग्वेज यू रियली हैव टू लुक कि मतलब इज दिस बुक गुड, इज दिस बुक suitable for my preparation or not. So like you have to spend a lot of time figuring out your sources. तो उसके कारण I think लोग का टाइम काफी खराब हो जाता है, and they are still not able to find the best source. So for that I think अगर आपकी मीडियम इंग्लिश से कोई और है, इंग्लिश छोड़कर है, तो आई थिंक तब आपको थोड़ा डिसएडवांटेज हो सकता है. बट फ्रॉम द यूपीएससी साइड देयर इज नो सच डिसएडवांटेज. जब आप अपना इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं, दे विल ऑब्वियसली मार्क यू. और राइट, अगर आप एक्सप्रेस सही से कर पा रहे हैं, तो भी आप कहना चाहते हैं, एंड इवन इन द मेंस एग्जामिनेशन इफ यू आर एक्सप्रेसिंग योरसेल्फ प्रॉपर्ली, और आपकी बेसिक प्रोफिशिएंसी है, क्योंकि एक कंपलसरी एग्जाम लिखना पड़ता है इंग्लिश में भी, और एक शेड्यूल लैंग्वेज में भी आपको एक लिखना पड़ता है एग्जाम. सो अगर आप बेसिक प्रोफिशिएंसी है आपकी इन दोनों पेपर्स में, बियॉन्ड दैट यू डोंट रियली हैव टू वरी अबाउट द मीडियम.
Do you think reservation play any role in the probability of selection or kind of that in UPSC? Reservation.
Right. So, as you all know, that there are 22% seats that are reserved for the SC/ST communities, 27% seats that are reserved for the OBC community, as well as 10% seats that are reserved for the economically weaker sections. So, for that, अगर आपका इन सब categories में आप आते, और and साथ में UPSC exam में there are reservations for the physically handicapped people as well. And उसमें भी different categories of हैं, like कितना disability है आपका, तो उसके हिसाब से reservation आपको मिलता है. I think as far as reservation is concerned, अगर आपका इन categories में आप हैं, तो definitely do avail of the benefit. This is your constitutional right. Beyond that, if you are a general category student, अगर आप अच्छे से पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, so there is no reason why you will not be selected. So I think it's a fair thing. It's a fair game for each and every category student, because people have suffered historical prejudices and economic prejudice, social prejudices as well as economic prejudices. That is why this policy has come into place. And beyond that, अगर आपने मेहनत की है, you can definitely clear this exam.
Ma'am, your preparation tips for essay writing.
Essay writing. Okay, essay writing is also a very interesting paper, and ये एक ऐसा पेपर है कि आप कम से कम मेहनत करके ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्कोर कर सकते हैं. फॉर इंस्टेंस, यू डोंट हैव टू रीड एनीथिंग इन पर्टिकुलर फॉर योर एसे सेक्शन. अगर आप जीएस की प्रिपरेशन अच्छे से कर रहे हैं, जीएस 1 to 4 की प्रिपरेशन ढंग से कर रहे हैं, तो आपको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. साथ साथ में इफ यू आर रीडिंग द न्यूज़पेपर, देन ग्रेट. आप एडिटोरियल्स भी पढ़ रहे हैं, तब भी आपका बहुत फायदा होगा अपनी एसे प्रिपरेशन में. What you have to look out for is how to make your essay stand out. Now, what you can do to make your essay stand out and get the reader's attention, the examiner's attention, is start with an interesting quote, start with an interesting anecdote from the life of a famous individual, and uske alawa you can use statistics, to write, begin your essay. एक अच्छा सा इंट्रोडक्शन दीजिए कोट, स्टैटिस्टिक या किसी एनेक्डोट के साथ, एंड उसके बाद यू कैन डेल्व इनटू योर एसे इन डिटेल. जब आप एसे लिख रहे हैं, सो ट्राई एनालाइजिंग जो टॉपिक दिया है फ्रॉम अ 360 डिग्री पर्सपेक्टिव. इसका मतलब ये है कि आप उसको हिस्टोरिकली, पॉलिटिकली, लीगली, इंस्टीट्यूशनली, इकोनॉमिकली, सोशली, इन सब एस्पेक्ट से बेसिकली एक 360 डिग्री एनालिसिस करें. And once you are done with your analysis, then you can provide positives and negatives, and then you can also provide solutions and ways forward कि क्या कर सकते हैं हम इस issue को resolve करने के लिए, और what is the course of action that needs to be taken. Once you are done with this, then you can write your conclusion, जिसमें आप basically summarize करें and एक positive note से अपने answer को end करें, ताकि आपका एक अच्छा impression पड़े examiner या reader पर. I think this is the basic format that you can follow for all your essays. कुछ लोगों को प्रॉब्लम आती है philosophical essays लिखने में, क्योंकि factual essays are very easy to write if you are doing your general studies preparation properly. जब आप philosophical essay लिख रहे हैं, again don't get scared कि अरे ये तो different type का ऐसे है, मैं कैसे attempt करूंगा. Again, rely on your general studies preparation. जितना ज़्यादा आप examples दे सकें, history से, polity से, society से, economy से, उतना आपके essay के लिए अच्छा है. For instance, I remember in my essay there was a topic that said कि dedication to courage to accept one's mistakes and dedication to improve, are the two ways in which an individual can succeed or something. It was along these lines. The topic was along these lines. तो मैंने इसमें इकोनॉमी से भी एग्जाम्पल दिया. फॉर इंस्टेंस जैसे 1991 में इंडिया का इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन उतना अच्छा नहीं था, बट देन वी रियलाइज व्हाट आर मिस्टेक्स वर, एंड देन हमने न्यू पॉलिसीज लाए, हम एलपीजी स्कीम्स लाए. तो करेज टू एक्सेप्ट, वी एक्सेप्टेड दैट हमारी जो कंट्री पॉलिसीज उतनी अच्छी नहीं है, एंड डेडिकेशन टू इम्प्रूव. वी वांटेड टू इम्प्रूव, वी वांटेड टू ग्लोबलाइज, वी वांटेड टू प्रोवाइड इकोनॉमिक अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू आवर सिटीजन. तब हम कर पाए एलपीजी स्कीम. So I think, अपनी, जो readings हैं, basic readings, again, for philosophical essays, these will help you. And I think that covers, I think, most of the essay preparation.
मैम, क्या हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल आपको GS2 में हेल्प करता है?
हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल GS2 में हेल्प नहीं करता है, GS1 में ज्यादा हेल्प करता है, because as you know, काफी syllabus overlap होता है. As far as GS2 is concerned, it's mostly polity, it's international relations. So sure, if you have a basic understanding of world history, तो आपको इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन में थोड़ी बहुत हेल्प हो सकती है. लेकिन बिकॉज लाइक आई सेड कि आजकल करंट अफेयर्स भी ज्यादा क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, तो इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस भी करंट अफेयर्स भी ज्यादा हो गए. दे वोंट आस्क यू मेनी क्वेश्चंस ऑन हिस्ट्री ऑफ रिलेशंस बिटवीन कंट्रीज एंड एज सच. तो हिस्ट्री वोंट हेल्प यू मच देयर.
Ma'am, like you, I am also a student of history honors. So, how will I prepare for history optional? Is it beneficial to take a history as optional subject?
I think it depends on you. Like अगर आपको हिस्ट्री लेना है तो आप ले सकते हैं. It's a fun subject to study. आपको GS1 में भी हेल्प करेगा. Beyond that, like you can refer to the basic book lists जो हैं available. For instance, I'll just discuss my book list in short. First and foremost, there is for ancient India, you can refer to R.S. Sharma and Upinder Singh's book, Professor Upinder Singh's book. For modern India, for medieval India rather, you can refer to Professor Satish Chandra's book. For modern India, you can refer to Professor Vipin Chandra's book and Shekhar Bandyopadhyay from Classic to Partition. Beyond that, अगर आप world history को देखें, you can refer to Norman Lowe, you can refer to Jen and Mathur, and you can also refer to a website that is Self Study History. इसके बाद कुछ सप्लीमेंट्री सोर्सेज भी होते हैं. अगर आपको कोई टॉपिक अच्छे से अच्छे से मिलता नहीं है, देन यू कैन ऑलवेज रेफर टू इग्नू BA नोट्स. BA नोट्स के अलावा मैंने अपने खुद के ग्रेजुएशन नोट्स रेफर किए थे, और साथ साथ में अगर कोई टॉपिक मुझे फिर भी नहीं मिल रहा था, आई वुड गो ऑनलाइन एंड सिंपली गूगल. यूजुअली सेल्फ स्टडी हिस्ट्री जैसी वेबसाइट्स होती हैं जो आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन दे देती हैं. As far as maps are concerned, I think self-study history, again, that website is remarkable for your map preparation. आप वहाँ पे जाके अपना map prepare कर सकते हैं, and you can take after you're done with the syllabus, you can take from one to
मैम एक क्वेश्चन है, पूछ सकते हैं मैम? मैम मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि जब आप प्रिपरेशन कर रहे होंगे तो कई बार ऐसी सिचुएशन आई होगी कि आप हार मान जाते हैं, क्योंकि सर एक लंबा प्रोसेस होता है. कहते हैं कि लंबी रेस का घोड़ा होना पड़ता है IAS के लिए. तो मैम आपको अपना मोटिवेशन बनाए रखने के लिए मैं आपने क्या किया, क्योंकि कई बार ऐसी सिचुएशन आ जाती है कि हम हार मान लें, तो मैं मोटिवेशन बनाने की क्या किया मैम, आपका व्यूज है?
I think like I said, मैंने पहले भी बोला कि मेरी मोटिवेशन दो थी. एक था कि मैं ये एग्जाम क्लियर करना चाहती थी, because there are things I saw in the society that I wish to change. राइट. तो मैं इसीलिए एग्जाम क्लियर करना चाहती थी. एंड जब भी मतलब मुझे लगता था कि ठीक है, लाइक मेरे मार्क्स कम आ रहे हैं, मॉक्स में आई कांट डू दिस एनीमोर, आई एम टू टायर्ड, देन व्हाट आई वुड जस्ट कीप रिमेंबरिंग माय मोटिवेशन टू क्लियर दिस एग्जामिनेशन. एंड सेकेंडली, जैसा कि मैंने पहले भी बोला कि माय पेरेंट्स वर माय मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर्स, और मैं उनको बस प्राउड फील करवाना चाहती थी एक तरीके से, एट अ वेरी बेस लेवल. तो इन दोनों मोटिवेशन को मैंने अपने दिमाग में रखा. एंड लाइक जब भी मुझे कुछ फील होता था लाइक दैट आई कांट डू इट एनीमोर, आई यूज्ड टू कीप रिमाइंडिंग माय सेल्फ दैट आई हैव टू डू इट एंड आई वांट टू डू इट. तो ये आप कर सकते हैं. यू कैन फिगर आउट योर मोटिवेशन फॉर क्लियरिंग दिस एग्जामिनेशन एंड बिगिन योर प्रिपरेशन. I think I think that is the last question I could take.
Yes, ma'am. Now I would like to invite our convener, Dr. Rajiv Ranjan Giri sir, to please say the token of thanks.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया चंद्र ज्योति, और बहुत बधाइयां आपको फिर से। आपने बहुत सारे सवालों का जो हमारे बच्चों के दिमाग में था उसका आपने समाधान किया और उनको समझाया। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि इनका आत्मविश्वास बढ़ा होगा और इनको इससे प्रेरणा भी मिली होगी। मैं आपसे एक आग्रह भी करूंगा कि जब आप मसूरी चले जाएं तब भी इन बच्चों से हम लोगों से संपर्क रखें और अपने कुछ और दोस्तों को भी हमारे कार्यक्रम से जोड़ें। क्योंकि आप लोग कैंपस कॉलेज में हैं तो वहाँ इसकी सुविधाएं ज़्यादा है और साथ ही वहाँ इसकी ज़रूरत भी कम है। हमारे यहाँ इसकी सुविधाएं कम है और हमारे बच्चों को इसकी ज़रूरत भी ज़्यादा है। आपकी पूरी तैयारी में जो सबसे खास बात थी, जो मैं अपने बच्चों से इंटरेक्शन करके सोचता हूँ, समझता हूँ कि आपने कोचिंग नहीं लिया। आज के समय में कोचिंग एक बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट हो गया है स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। हमारे यहाँ जो बच्चे दधीची से जुड़े हुए हैं उसमें से अधिकतर ऐसे हैं जो ये पैसा अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते। इसलिए आपका हमारे साथ होना बहुत अच्छा है और हमारे बच्चों के लिए, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, सोसाइटी के लिए भी बहुत अच्छा है। तो आपको बहुत शुक्रिया और बहुत शुभकामनाएं। और मुझे उम्मीद है कि जिस आत्मविश्वास और जिस देश की बात आप कर रही थी वो अपने आगे के कैरियर में आप हमेशा याद रखेंगी। और आपका जो संबल है, आपका जो मनोबल है, आपके भीतर जो मोटिवेशन है, वो इस परीक्षा को पास करने के बाद जो तोड़ने वाली शक्तियां आपके इर्द गिर्द आएंगी, जहां भी आप काम करने जाएंगी, तो वहां उसका मुकाबला आप कर सकें, इसके लिए हम लोगों की दुआएं भी आपको है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका और बहुत बधाइयाँ।
I would just add again, thank you so much, sir, for your wishes. If any of you wish to connect with me, मैं Quora पे भी काफी सारे questions का answer करती हूँ, तो you can go through my Quora page. वहाँ पे भी अगर आपको कोई डाउट है, you can ask me there. I will reply as soon as possible. साथ ही में मेरा एक ब्लॉग भी है जहाँ पे मैंने अपनी डिटेल्ड बुक लिस्ट भी शेयर करी हुई है। करंट अफेयर्स कैसे प्रिपेयर करना है वो शेयर किया हुआ है। साथ साथ में अपने हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल के भी जो मेरे नोट्स हैं, मॉडर्न इंडिया, मिडीवल इंडिया, एंशिएंट इंडिया, वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, इन सब के नोट्स भी मैंने शेयर करे हुए हैं। यू कैन गो टू माय ब्लॉग एंड ये सब इंफॉर्मेशन आपको मेरे इंस्टाग्राम प्रोफाइल पे भी मिल जाएगी। माय ब्लॉग इज कॉल्ड चाय विद चंद्र ज्योति। वहां पे आपको डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन, मेरी डिटेल स्ट्रैटेजी भी मिल जाएगी।
बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। मुद्रा, अब अपने जो ऐसे कंपटीशन के रिजल्ट का समय है।
Ma'am, actually we conducted essay writing competition. The topic was relevance of Gandhi in contemporary Indian economy. So we would like to announce the results also today.
इस विषय पर जो पहले हम लोग बता देते हैं कि स्टीफेंस कॉलेज के एक छात्र हैं वैभव श्रीवास्तव। उन्होंने इसको फर्स्ट राउंड देखा था, फिर उसके बाद इसमें से जितने लोगों ने भाग लिया उसमें से 9 निबंध को चुनकर उन्होंने मुझे भेजा। आज 2 राउंड उनके साथ फिर से बात करके हम लोगों ने कोशिश की कि हम 3 लोगों को चुने, पर हम नहीं चुन पाए 3 को, हमको 4 लोगों को चुनना पड़ा। और उसका क्रम है, तीसरा पुरस्कार है ज्ञानेश्वर शायद आज भी इससे जुड़े हुए हैं। थर्ड प्राइज, तीसरा पुरस्कार ज्ञानेश्वर। दूसरा पुरस्कार सेकंड प्राइज बेदामिनी और आकाश सिंह को ज्वाइंट रूप में गया है। ये दोनों लोगों ने बराबर बराबर अंक प्राप्त किए हैं, वेदामिनी और आकाश सिंह सूर्यवंशी। पहला पुरस्कार है श्रीनिधि। मैं एक बार फिर से बोल दे रहा हूं, पहला पुरस्कार श्रीनिधि, दूसरा पुरस्कार वेदामिनी और आकाश सिंह सूर्यवंशी, तीसरा पुरस्कार ज्ञानेश्वर। तो चारों पुरस्कृत लोगों को भी बहुत बधाइयां और बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
Sir, is my screen visible?
आज 5 बजे से अभी मुद्रा शेयर कर रही हैं, स्क्रीन शेयर। आज 5 बजे से गांधी स्टडी सर्कल का गांधी स्वाध्याय मंडल एक लेक्चर आयोजित कर रहा है, जो 4 दिवसीय गांधी व्याख्यान माला का आज तीसरा दिन है। जेंडर विमर्श, गांधी दृष्टि। आप सब इसमें भी शामिल हो। 5 से 6:30 बजे तक आप लोगों का इंतजार रहेगा। आपका स्वागत है। बहुत
सर,
शुक्रिया।
इसकी डिटेल्स लिंक मैं वेबिनार वाले ग्रुप में शेयर कर दूंगी आज। Okay, so that's all for the. We would like to conclude this event. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rajiv, sir. Thank you, our principal, sir. Varsha, ma'am, and many other teachers have also joined us. All the participants who were and who also interacted with us. We are really overwhelmed after the responses, and thank you for joining us with us. Thank you, ma'am.
जिनकी वजह से आज का ये कार्यक्रम हो पाया, चंद्रज्योति सिंह को, उनको बहुत शुक्रिया और बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me also. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.